all the same before we're found. Wandering stars, outstretched and unbound, like Galileo's arms. A full moon will break you down, a new one will bring you back around. Just you wait until your chart aligns.
We're going to go over the forecast for crypto and the collective for the week of November 22 to November 28th. That's Monday through Sunday. We're starting Sagittarius season. We have so much happening this week. It's not even funny. But the Sun and Mercury moving into Sagittarius is going to bring some very different vibes. And the market is going to be seeing the effects of the Sun moving into a mutable sign as well. So let's start unpacking and start with Monday. Okay, so Monday, starting off with a bang. The Sun is moving into Sagittarius, and almost immediately it's going to move to conjunct the South Node. Now, what this means for the markets and what this means for us as people are two kind of like very different things. Depending on how this is aspected in your chart and what house it's playing to, the South Node and Sun conjunction could have really positive manifestations for you. You could be finding lost spiritual beliefs kind of coming back into your heart, into your practice. You could be, the Sun has to do with reputation and vitality. You might be finding lost energy that you hadn't had for quite some time. And it can also be a loss of ego, a loss of a sense of self, depending on what is, depending on what's going into it. I feel like because this is going into Sagittarius and where it's placed, this is something like a hangover from Scorpio season and all the work we were doing there. So whatever you were focusing on, and it's going to be taken in like one final swoop so that you can move into the spirit of Sagittarius, so you can be free, so you can have like yourself, back to yourself, like less baggage. I feel like this is going to be less baggage, however that tends to come out for you, like less dead weight, and everybody moves forward. But there could be a really noticeable theme of loss because this conjunction is going to be getting tighter over the next couple of days. For the markets, that means one thing, like South Node for the markets represents loss. Sometimes it can go in other directions, but almost always it looks to downside. And especially for crypto, there's a couple of other like extenuating circumstances that make it look like it's not going to be such a cute day. The next worst thing happening for crypto on Monday, and we'll see, but this has been holding pretty true, is the moon is moving into Cancer. And Cancer moons have been awful for crypto for one main reason. Elon Musk has his Mercury in the early degrees of Cancer, opposing his natal moon exactly in Capricorn. So every time the moon moves into Cancer, every month this happens, we see an Elon tweet, and usually the market responds like in kind. Crypto starts to crash, things go crazy, something shoots up out of nowhere, but it is something that you can like usually set your watch to. So between those two things, I think we have kind of a lot headed our way on Monday. And you're going to notice immediately, like even with whatever's happening with the loss, the breath of fresh air that is going to come with the Sagittarius Sun, you've needed it. You know, just give yourself into it. Make some room to have like something that just makes you feel a little wild, you know, something that lets you be a little like less restrained, because Scorpio has had us all kind of sitting very hard on emotions that we didn't want seen or expressed. So, okay, so heading into Tuesday, things are starting to get exciting. The Sun South Node conjunction is exact, and the Cancer moon is opposing Venus and Capricorn. So the moon is the public, right? That's us, that's the people, that's how we're responding to any stock or assets or news regarding crypto. And the Cancer moon shows kind of like a touchy, sort of sensitive public. So not one to be toyed with. Again, I could see this as being very irritable if public figures did tweet and crash any cryptocurrencies. in the aftermath, this would not be a happy public on the subject. There is another Moon-Mars trine, and the moon is also going to be trining Neptune. So Mars-Neptune contacts through the moon, to me, it looks like inspired action. Like whatever happens, if something does kind of like crash the currencies or the market starts to fall down, this looks like an energized sort of public base, like somebody is energized and inspired. It's a good thing. It's going to have like, it's going to take the edge off anything that's happening then. Okay, Wednesday, moving right along, the sun is going to be separating from the South Node conjunction. So whatever that loss is coming up, we're going to, if it hasn't already started to dissipate, we're going to feel it loosening up pretty quickly now. And the moon is making a lot of fun aspects. Okay, so we have a Mercury trine from the moon. And we also have a Venus-Mars sextile. So the moon trine Mercury, I was telling a friend about this. This is one of my favorite aspects for doing due diligence, for reaching out to new communities, for looking for new coins, for like finding a lucky shill that's actually selling you something that you can use. This is a really good time to be sort of scouring the public and using that kind of intuition to see if you can communicate about something that is going to be a really valuable move for you. This is a sort of aspect monthly where like those opportunities pop up a little bit more readily than normal. And it also shows that the public in general, retail, whoever that's coming from, very expressive, very communicative. I would see, look for a lot of social media activity around this time. And yeah, like we said, auspicious time to find new plays. So don't waste it for that. The moon is going to be opposite Pluto at the same time. This looks like a public distrust of a public figure. So again, like I'm kind of seeing Elon vibes getting like messed up in this. The moon just representing everybody feeling kind of played or manipulated by some point. This could also be some kind of a whale situation, rug pulling, whatever. It's just a very kind of like the public at large feels like they've been played. So Moon-Pluto opposition in a nutshell. For the collective, I would say, especially with the Moon-Pluto opposition moment, that could manifest as a very paranoid feeling, like a very suspicious feeling. It is so transitory, just like let it go, let it pass you over. There's a lot of like little kind of like niggling sort of Scorpio season hangover moments through this week where you could be feeling some of those like energies resurface. Really just let them up and out. We have a Venus-Mars sextile playing again all week long. So lean into that if you do have feelings that you feel like you want to act out on and potentially just like cause harm and wreckage when you should just sit through them. Exercise, sex, strenuous activities that like are somehow enjoyable to you. All of those things are a really good tool to help you manage any platonic emotions that come up when the moon crosses Pluto. Okay, Thursday, Mercury ingresses into Sagittarius. So if we didn't say it before with the sun, almost every time a planet changes signs, you're going to see some quake in the markets, just because it's a really notable, like the last degree of the sign that it's moving from, 29 degrees, and the first degree of the sign that's moving into 0 degrees are some of the most powerful and disruptive degrees in all the zodiac, anywhere you hit them. So planetary ingresses, moving into a new sign, they are a big deal. And we have two this week. We have the sun and then we have Mercury. So Mercury is a planet that we look to for the market behavior, not for the behavior of the people, just for what the markets themselves are going to be doing, whether it's crypto, whether it's the New York Stock Exchange, whether it's, foreign currencies, whatever you're looking for. This is going to be represented here. And immediately when it moves into Sagittarius, it conjuncts the South Node. So if Monday was a day of potential downside, Thursday really, 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 really looks like it. It does. The moon is opposite Saturn and it's square Uranus. So the public is fearful, I would say. The moon Saturn contacts, unless they're trines or something like that, which can be very steadying, or a sextile. If it's a square or it's an opposition, it's like panicky, selling, paper handy, like just probably maybe for good reason, but just everybody's feeling a little like down and kind of not optimistic, bearish, like it's bearish energy. There we go. We could have just said that in the beginning. And Uranus is going to add to the instability, okay? Because it's really kind of like turning up the screws in that and making sure everybody knows that this might be a volatile time that everybody's responding to with the panic and the fearfulness of Saturn. So Mercury in this time that is conjunct the South Node too, it's under the rays of the sun very close. We have a Mercury Sun cazimi coming up, which is going to be like a big bright moment, but while it's combust, it's not functioning properly. And this is getting like super overheated markets. That's something that I would maybe be looking for with this kind of transit as it's building. There could be selling that's going on with sort of like a misinformation campaign that when the Mercury Sun cazimi goes direct and that aspect comes in, there's like a clarity, there's like a big unveiling, and the markets have a chance to be supercharged. Mercury is supercharged in the heart of the sun, which is what a cazimi is. Okay, Mercury is combust in the rays of the sun, getting burned up until the cazimi completes and is exact, which is happening on Sunday. So it looks like that's going to be better news for crypto than the markets at large, because they won't be open when it happens. So know that when dealing with your stock portfolios. Okay, moving into Friday. Let's see what we have here. We have a Leo moon opposite Jupiter. That is irrational exuberance. So something is happening here. Let's see. What are we doing? Okay, Mercury's still combust, but it's getting closer to the sun. It's getting closer to that cazimi. So it looks like, again, with the markets overheating, that's a big vibe from there. This is an overconfident, bullish energy, though. This Mars is moving into trine with Neptune. So that's going to be building of like some kind of, that's like a hopium. Mars and Neptune always feel like aggressively seeking hopium. Like you're really like trying to make your argument, make your thesis, and make your case if you're bullish or bearish. And it's going to be a little bit exaggerated, whatever you think your case is, if you're not careful and grounding about it, because of the moon Jupiter opposition and the Leo moon in general. Everybody's going to be feeling, we have sun in Sagittarius, we have a Leo moon. This is playful, energetic, very creative, very social energy. Okay, so you can see how that would affect the markets and the online communities and, you know, crypto Twitter and everything else. Just like good vibes, party time, maybe getting a little overexcited about coins that we shouldn't. Okay, Saturday, big vibe shift here. Moon moves into Virgo and immediately squares the sun out of the gate. So now we have one very mutable energy. We have a mutable square happening between Virgo and Sagittarius. And the public has moved from this like really enthusiastic, playful, generous, benefit of the doubt, like Leo space, right, into Virgo. So it's a very analytical, critiquing, criticizing, like sort of very willing to pick apart an argument that isn't sound, that isn't a good faith argument. This is where the public is at. And this is also the energy that could be coming through you. With Virgo energy, it is an amazing time, especially with the moon, like to perfect the parts of ourselves that we want to perfect, but you always have to watch out for negative self-talk, getting too critical with family members if something's been bugging you. This is a really big time where it can come out. And if you start criticizing during this moon transit, it's going to be very hard to stop yourself. That is especially with the sun in Sagittarius, you know, the sign of opinions and big, like, grandiose statements and very, like, you know, guru type behavior. There's a lot of energy into this to really take critical words too far. So just be conscientious of that and work through any emotions that are coming up where you're dogging yourself too hard too. It's really important to be gentle with yourself. Virgo, as rough as they can seem to everybody on like the outside, they are truly the hardest on themselves. It's absolutely, they put themselves through so crazy much when they are such like capable and wonderful people. Okay, Virgo love aside. What else are we doing? Moon is squaring Mercury. So the reactions from the public to whatever is going on that the public is critiquing are going to affect the markets. It's going to affect the participation, money coming into markets, perhaps. This is only crypto at this point. So we can just drop markets. This is crypto because it's Saturday and everything else is closed. This looks like it's solution oriented energy. Like whatever is discovered gets dealt with in a really quick way by the public at large. I don't know. I like it. So Venus is sextiling Mars still and applying to a sextile with Neptune at the same time that all of this is happening, which is really love and money are brought into the equation then. And this all feels like very good. Like whatever is happening, you feel connected. You feel that this is like a spiritual kind of like warm, cozy warmth. So even though you're trying to get to the heart of a problem, with that sort of like Virgo ability to untangle the details and figure out what's really going on with that mercurial mind, right? You have that happening, but you also have a spiritual connection to take the edge off that anxiety. And you have Mars like hyping that up. So it's a very strong, noticeable feeling on Saturday. There is something super magical to tune into if you don't let your head get too analytical, too neurotic. Like this could be a very sort of like mentally stressful, too much mental chatter time. Just kill it all. You don't need it. Like you can just really tune into instinct at this time to find your solutions. And then that Virgo efficiency will let you act them out. So lots of room for leveling up, lots of room for self-improvement. Again, perfecting ourselves for the Sagittarian adventures we have ahead. Like you can almost think about this like when you're getting ready for a big trip. You know, like if it's beach season or something like that, you're probably working out. You might be saving money. You might be like practicing a foreign language depending on where you're going. That is the start of Sagittarius season. That is what these first couple of like aspects of the week are getting us ready to do. We're going to go on an incredible trip and we so deserve it because we've been working so hard. But first, we have to get packed and ready to catch our flights. So that is the biggest vibe that I get from this week altogether. But that is before we get until Sunday, which is the showstopper of the entire week, and our Mercury Cazimi. We have two minor grand trines. Okay, the first one we have is Venus in Capricorn, sextiling Mars and Neptune, both in water homes. Okay, so Venus in Capricorn is an Earth Venus. That is who is kind of like calling the whole ship because she's the one sextiling everybody. These are seeds being planted so they can grow into profits. It's a really like fertile energy that's already starting off, but it's mostly Venusian and it's getting supported by the Mars Neptune inspired action that we've been talking about the entire through almost this entire week. And then the second grand trine is Mars sextiling the moon in Virgo and Venus in Capricorn. So Mars is in Scorpio and domicile, and this is probably the stronger of the two, I would say. So it's almost kind of the reverse, right? It's the earth grounding the water and giving it a place to flow through. From both of them, it's an incredibly harmonious energy to the entire day. And then on top of that, we have the Mercury Cazimi. So Mercury is no longer burning up under the rays of the sun. Mercury is in the heart of the sun. They are one. This is supercharged, right? This is ready to go. And crypto or any other trade that's available for the day is probably going to take off at a lightning speed. The faster, the stronger that Mercury is, the faster and the stronger the markets are. I would expect that whatever kind of like this gossip chatter that we've had building throughout the week, like this is the day that comes unveiled or there's a really big announcement and everybody buys like their lives depend on it. Like this is just for everything else that's kind of been mixed. It could go either which way. And there are a couple of days that just look like downside no matter what you do this week. This is a really, really, really big day. Although this is normally really good investing advice anyways, on Sunday, you're looking at a sun sextile Saturn. Okay, so sun sextiles period are your helpers for whatever other astrology is going on. There's little solutions that are planted in each of them. If you look at what each of the planets in the sextile are signifying, you can kind of get a hint as to what you're supposed to do to get yourself through any of the energy. And sun sextile Saturn means timing is everything. Timing and steady nerves are going to get you the best possible gains out of whatever Sunday's market looks like. Thank you so much for tuning in for another forecast. I can't wait to check in next week and see how much of this hit. Please remember, this is not financial advice. I am speculating wildly using some birth charts and some good old-fashioned astrological common sense. We will see, okay? Nobody is 100% right all the time. Do your own due diligence and make your own choices. But I am really glad that we are here to be able to do this together, because astrology is maybe the most fun part of investing, period. So thank you. Go ahead and click that like button on your way out if you want to see more of this. Tell me in the comments what you want to see and if you need me to cast any charts, and we will meet up again next week. Okay, bye.
We're all the same before we're found, wandering stars, outstretched and unbound, like Galileo's arms. A full moon will break you down, a new one will bring you back around. Just you wait until your child alive.